What's going on, Slayer Nation? Man, if you guys are like me and you're into hunting and fishing and cooking and eating, well, guess what, man? You asked for it, you got it. This is Slayer's Kitchen. What's going on, Slayer Nation? So, we got us another animal. Today, I just want to kind of go over with you kind of the way that I do things. Not everybody does things the same. But for me, the hunt's not done until the meat's in the cooler and the carcass is done away with. So, just step by step, this is how I do things. You know, if you guys do things a different way, then, you know, I'm not hating on you, don't hate on me. So, but here's what I do. All right, so we got the animal. Now, I've got the Outdoor Edge Razor Pro here. Now, this is not a promo. They do not sponsor me or anything. This is just what I've been using for the last few years, and it works great for me. So what I do is I normally make a little incision right here, just another little incision right there. Not too much, as in to get into the meat. But what this thing does is you fold that down, and then it's got this little hide skinner right here, and you just get her down in that right there. Come on in there, and then you just open it up like a zipper right down the middle, just right down it. Now, you don't want to get into the insides. Now, me personally, I do not gut the animal. I'm going to show you how I do it without taking the guts out of the animal. So there again, get this hide down. So this is her milk sack here. Get you a trash bucket. Once you get that out of the way, you just take that zipper and just zip it on down. Now, the way that this one's been shot right here, this shoulder's about gone, so we're probably not going to be able to salvage that one. But once you get her opened up, then you can flip that down, flip the other one back out, and then go to cutting. Now, the good thing about these Razor Pros is they come with extra blades, and they're just really simple to change out. Cut on around, get that hide loose from it. We're out here on a very wet South Alabama day. I know it's supposed to rain a little bit. We're trying to beat the rain. I got this one this morning at about 6:30. I had her and 3 or 4 more come out. Little 6-pointer. He's going to be a nice one in the next few years. But so there's nothing, it's not rocket surgery. So just whatever you got to do to get that hide off. I don't know, maybe time to change blade on this one. I know it may be hard to tell, but what I'm doing is I'm pulling down on the hide, just kind of letting the knife do the work. I'm just kind of running it across and let it do the cutting. And once you get down to a certain point, you get this little tailbone broke loose here. We should be able to just pull it straight down then. Let's see here. All right. Let's see what we can do. I'm gonna lay my knife down. I'll grab that tail and just pull straight down. Sometimes it'll work for you, sometimes it don't. Just keep pulling her on down. Don't be afraid to get your fingers deep down in it. And let gravity work with you. And I just like to start from the top and start finding the muscle tissue line, and then just work with it. Like I said, it's any kind of major deal, it's just getting her did. Right down, get down to that bone and cut your meat away from your bone there. All right. Again, follow your tissue line. That kind of tells you where to cut. One down. A lot of times out of this rump meat right here, I like to make a roast. My wife does one of the better roasts. Don't tell her I said that. But the way that she marinates it and she slow cooks it. And sometimes she'll put either onions, carrots, potatoes in it in a slow cooker, or she'll put some cream of mushroom soup, a can of rotel after she seasoned it and everything, and let it just sit all day. And man, you talking about eating good, fat, and sassy right there. I'm gonna finish cutting right down the old line right here. Now, the reason that I do things the way that I do is because there's certain ways that I like to cut the meat, because there's certain ways that we process it for our family to eat. It's just our favorites. So I try to take as many of the big pieces, because like I said, we do a lot of roast and everything. A lot of times you guys will see me, you know, kind of cut these roast into steaks also. But try to take as much of it as possible in one piece. Throw it in the cooler. Yeah, same thing. You find that muscle line. And it'll tell you exactly where to cut. And if you're one of those guys that you'd rather just take the deer and skin it and take it to a processor, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We had a processor that we were using, and they did a great job. And then because of the amount of work that they had, and both of them were hunters, it was a husband and wife team, and both of them were hunters, and they got so busy that they didn't get a chance to hunt, and it was a side job for them, and they unfortunately decided to close the doors, and which was heartbreaking to us because it was so much easier to take it to them. So I went ahead and got back to my own roots and started processing everything myself, and bought my slicers, my cubers, and all that good stuff. And when you do it yourself, the benefit to that is the fact that you know where your meat's coming from. You know it's your meat, you know, and not saying that all processors, you know, just do whatever, by no means, because you have some very good processors out there. But I personally, I've been getting used to doing mine, you know, with my own cuts, my own machinery and everything. That it's just how we do things now at the Schlehmeier household. My best friend, I say my best friend, he's really one of my brothers, but him and I have hunted together for lots of years, and I can't really say can't really call anybody friends, because if you're in my group, then you're a brother. So, but anyway, when him and I started doing our own processing, his brother-in-law knew a butcher up in North Alabama, and the butcher really kind of opened up our eyes to the way that we were doing things, and showed us some tricks, and I guess some of those tricks of the trade that now a lot of this right here, this silver skin right here, once we get this processed. Now what I do is I put the meat in the cooler and I bleed it out for a few days. I put ice and water in it initially, and then after a day or two, you know, I will have bled it a few times, leaving nothing but ice on it. And what that does, it kind of gets all the blood out. That irony taste is the gaminess that a lot of you taste, but this silver skin also needs to go because it makes it tough. So that's one of the things that you really want to get cut out of your meat, but you do that when you process it. So now we got all the rumps gone. Now it's my favorite part, right here, going right down this old backbone. This right here is gold to any wild game hunter. This is the backstrap. This is that part of the meat that runs down either side of the spinal column. It's very versatile. What I do at Schlehmeier's Kitchen a lot of times is I'll cut this into smaller sections. I will fillet it open and put cream cheese, green pepper jelly, a chutney, something like that. I will sandwich it, wrap it in bacon sometimes, put that joker in a pan or pop it in the oven. Just, you know, it's such a versatile piece of meat. such a good flavor. And there again, let gravity do the work for you on this. All I'm doing is I'm pulling down on the meat and just letting the knife do the work. Now this old doe right here, she is not the biggest by any means, but there's your back strap. I will take the one off the other side. Now she's probably maybe 100, maybe $1.25 max. But when I shot her, she ran down in some of the thickest part of the woods that we have on this property. Not too far, but far enough that she felt like she weighed about 5,000 pounds trying to drag her out. So, if I'm a little winded in this video, you know why. There again, pull down on the meat and let the knife do the work. Now a lot of you may be watching this and want to know why I haven't gutted this deer. Well, I quit gutting deers a long time ago because tricks of the trade of that butcher I was telling you about, and I wish I could remember his name, but my buddy's brother-in-law was the one that met the guy and really kind of passed on the information. But the back strap there, what he showed us or told us, see if I can get this spun around. So the inner loin, or what a lot of people in the South call the sweet meat. So you cut that cavity right here, okay, and you let the guts drop down into the cavity. Pull it down there. You're left with this inside piece of meat right here. That. Now this doe, like I said, she's not very big, so she don't have any kind of monster sweet meat right here like you would get on a mature buck or even a even mature doe. But you just run your finger in there. That's that piece of meat. It's inner loin, aka the sweet meat. You just run it down. It follows that inside portion of the spinal column. Get that out right there. That's that old sweet meat. There again, that's got some silver skin on it that you want to trim up really good. Do the same thing on this other side. Trim some of this fat. So, cut this excess off right here. We'll get right inside that right there, and you can use your thumb and pull it away from the hide. I mean from the carcass. And then just run your finger down it. And it's so tender that it just about will pull out. But, just like I did on this one, I kind of tore it right there pulling it. You really don't want to pull too much. Boom. Another piece of sweet meat right there. So we got the rumps off, the back straps, got the sweet meat. Now we're going to come down here to the shoulders. And most people that I know that hunt trash the shoulders. Let me tell you something, guys. The front shoulder roast that can be made from these, there is so much meat So much meat. Now this shoulder right here is about gone on the inside. See if I can salvage some of that. It shattered her bone. Now let's see if I can get up on this here. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so yeah. Now you see all this right here, this is all that bloody shot from where that bullet punched into her, or came out of her, whichever side this is. But, so, you really want to get this cleaned up, because that irony, whatever flavor that it gives, that gaminess and everything, you really want to get rid of that. Now you can do that when you're processing. I like to try to take as much of it off while I'm here. It's a little slippery. So, but this right here, there we go. Yeah, you see these bone fragments right here is where it just shattered that shoulder. So what we'll do is we'll get those out. Alright, so before we put this in the cooler, the knife right there, we're going to get the water hose. Just give it a little hose down. Like I said, a lot of this you can clean up once you're starting to process it, get all your silver skin off, all that shock out of it, everything. Still got a good piece of meat right there. I know a lot of people said they trash them shoulders, but they're missing out on a ton of solid meat right there. All right. And we're gonna let that one bleed for a little bit. But like I said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this one off right here, throw it in the cooler. But as you can see, we're just about done with this one. Once this goes in the cooler, more ice and water go on it. We're gonna take the carcass off. We have a bottom field that we take it to. Let the coyotes do what the coyotes do. A lot of times we'll get out there and after we dump the carcass, once you hear them start hollering, then it's a coyote hunt sometimes. So, but anyway, man, thank you guys for joining in, and just remember, at Slayer's Kitchen, we're always eating good, fat, and sassy.